This is the It Factor Podcast. I'm your host, Jerry Robinson. And today we got some special people. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, Tarron. I'll let you go first.
All right, Tarron Jackson, defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, and I'm Jermaine, Patterson, owner, creator of Q2 Athletic Apparel, and also founder of Real Dreamerz nonprofit organization.
Yeah, man. So first off, how y'all doing, man? How has y'all week been, man? Y'all been good?
Yeah, man. Been blessed, man. Been blessed. A lot of work, but glad for that. A lot of the work's been productive, so I'm happy for that.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Oh yeah, it's been a great week, man. Just got back starting workouts with the team. Been a good environment, just grinding with the guys. Draft just started, so looking for some of the guys that I went to at Coastal. Just waiting to hear their name called. So I can call them and share that moment with them. But this is a great week for guys around the world that been dreaming for stuff like this since they was a little kid. So a great week.
It is, man. It actually is, man. So, first off, I want to ask, Q2 Apparel, man. When I looked it up, I was researching you guys. I really thought about it, and I would want to say, had a quality of these questions to say, why was that so important to have an apparel brand like that?
Q2 Athletic Apparel. Well, mainly because, trying to give you the short version of the story. Well, pretty much since I was young, I was always an athlete. I played all three sports: basketball, football, and baseball. But I had a strong passion, for basketball, and I used to box a little bit as well. And throughout that journey, sports can be a teacher of life, so to speak. So I ended up getting a scholarship to play basketball in Nebraska. And I had a good trainer up there. We actually used the same trainer that the Cornhuskers used, because I went to a JUCO up there. And so, he taught me some things about training. And then when I graduated in 2004, I came back home and I found a job. And I was working at this place called AGY. And then we had a labor dispute there. So throughout that time, I was out of work and I was trying to find out, what exactly I was going to do. So I always been good at, training people, so to speak. And then I started personal training. And when I got with this guy, his name is Kenny Ray. He taught me about functionality, sports-specific training. Because, growing up, only thing we knew was hit the weights hard, go hard, go hard. But then I learned, the functionality of training, the purpose of training, not just getting in the gym, lifting weights, and how your body is a kinetic chain. And so once I started learning that, my training went up to a whole nother level. So I had this potential client call me. Her name was Tammy Dreamerz. And she was telling me how she was working out 5 days a week. And she was 4'11", and she wore 220 pounds. But she carried her weight very good. She carried it very good. So, but she was telling me she worked out for a whole year and she only lost 1 pound. And I'm like, how is that even possible? But then I thought about it. I was like, it has to be your nutrition. And I asked her how many times a day does she eat? She said, well, I only eat once a day. And I said, that's the problem. I said, it's the quality of what you do and not the quantity of what you do. I said, it's always quality over quantity. And she said, oh, quality over quantity. I like that. And I know that's an old saying, but so a light bulb went off, just like that. And then I thought more about it and I was like, you know what? It's not just about training. The quality of friends you hang around determines your success. The quality of how you spend your 1,440 minutes a day determines your success. Who you attach yourself to, the quality of books that you read. So it's kind of like a prerequisite to success, the quality over quantity lifestyle. So it didn't just apply to, training and athletics, it applies to life. And so that's why, I said I'm making a lifestyle brand and not just, a cool logo to throw on the shirt. Because I'm really not trying to sell clothes. I'm trying to sell the mentality of Q2 Athletic Apparel. And within that, sales will go up.
Yeah, I respect that, man. I do respect that because you see a lot of people that say they're gonna train and do different things like that, and they throw stuff on a shirt, and they're like, "Hey, man, this is what I'm gonna do," and they're not backing it. So just to hear that you have that's even comes to my question of saying family. Amazing thing that both you guys, that you've been a big time athlete, and just both of y'all bringing that brand together. Why was it important for you to say, hey, this is my family member, I'm going to join his brand and sign with his brand versus signing with any other big brand? Why was that important?
I think it was huge for me, man. For one, I've been training with Jermaine since I was young. And when he came to me with the brand, I was like, man, it embodies me. The quality over quantity. One thing about Jermaine, whenever he's training you too, he don't give himself enough credit, but I came to him like, man, I really need to get more explosive. I really need to work on this, on that. And when we start doing the exercises, it ain't just like he said, just doing just normal workouts, trying to load the bar up, trying to, everything is detailed. Okay, Tarron, you need to try to explode up right here. Tarron, you need to get full extension. You need to do this. In your mind, you be thinking like this, like all those little details and stuff. And that's what really matters, man. And that's why we say quality over quantity. So for me, it was easy, man. For me, at the same time, I want to build up family, but I want something that embodies who I am. And when I'm on the field, everybody like, when they see it on me, they're like, man, what is that? They see Q2 and all that, and it's gonna be a perfect combination of quality over quantity.
I like that, man. I like that. And also, it's a difference from saying, like, I think about it, and I've been around athletics for a long time. You see the Nikes, you see all the big names.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool, that's good. Everybody wear that, or they may give you a big deal, but it's like, it ain't nothing like family. And then putting that quality into it and saying, hey,
Okay.
I'm not only
service.
Sorry about that. I'm not only gonna, come out here and be a Nike. I'm gonna be in my family brand. Oh, you want to be a part of it? This is how you can be a part of it. So I love that, man. So when I heard about it, that's why I had to have an interview both of y'all. That's what I'm about, man. That's what the it factor is about. So in that, what is y'all it factor, man? Why y'all do what y'all do?
Right. Well, and can I just add one more thing to that as well, to what we was just talking about? I didn't come on about this just because he was family. I came to Tarron about this because Tarron embodies what Q2 is. Like, ever since I trained Tarron since he was younger, like, I always saw his work ethic was next level. And that's what got him to where he is today. His work ethic was unmatched. Like, I always told people I knew he was gonna make it from when I first started training when he was in high school. Like, I knew then. And I'm not just saying that because he's here, but I knew then because I'm like, his work ethic is unmatched. Like, nobody's gonna outwork him in the gym. And he's always been like that. So if Tarron was like lazy, he just happened to make it just because he was talented, I wouldn't even came to him about it. So I just wanted to add that little nugget in there, man. Like, he really embodies what Q2 Athletic Apparel is. And another thing that kind of made me come to Tarron about it too. One day I was on Instagram and I happened to see this, it was like a meme, and they had how all the families like Gucci, the Waltons, they got Walmart, all these families. And I'm not like racist at all. I don't deal with that, but I saw how all of them were either white or Italian families. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Tarron is my family. Our birthday's on the same day.
Yeah.
Our birthday's on the same day. He embodies that work ethic, and he has a great story behind him. So, and I also had two professional golfers. This is what people don't know. I had two pro golfers that offered to go in with me. They offered, and I'm like, why wouldn't I go to my family or talk to my family about this? Like, why wouldn't I do that? So I talked to him about it, and I asked him, I said, look, I don't want nothing from you. Only thing I want for you is just join and be a part of this. Just be a part of this. And don't do it just because I'm family. Do it because you believe in what I'm doing. And he concurred. He agreed.
I respect that, man. That's amazing. And even in the question I have here, like family. So in that, what does that mean to you? Both of you guys, like, what does family mean to you, and why is it so important? Especially being Black. I mean, a lot of us don't start businesses together. Like, I have a big time cousin in the league now, man. We talk every now and then. And before I did the interview, my fiance was like, dang, man, that's cool. They get together and they doing a business together. And I said, yeah. I think a lot of people thinking you want something from them when in actuality, like, man, we family at the end of the day.
Right.
I want both of us to feel from this, man.
Oh yeah. Well, family to me, I mean, it's everything. It means everything. You go through ups, you go through downs together. Family, money. Sorry about that, y'all. That's my daughter. My daughter just walked in. But yeah, family means everything to me. Whether it be immediate family, whether it be, cousins, with like distant cousins. I mean, it means everything. That's a part of your family tree. That's a part of your lineage. So, I love family, and I always want to build a legacy as well. Like, sometimes, like, I'll mention this. Tarron broke something off of our family. Tarron was able to transcend. He's the first person to like kind of break through, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but he was the first one to kind of break through and break like generational curses off of our family. You know, and when you have family that's that has certain struggles with things, and then you have one that comes along and you can tell he's the one that's chosen to be something, or they're destined to be something, people see the glitz and the glamour, but they don't see the work that comes behind it. Because you're going to get attacked from all sides when you're trying to transcend, you're trying to break mindsets off your family. And sometimes you can have family that don't understand that part of it as well. Like, because when you're going through, like with Tarron, going through the NFL draft, going through this, going through that, like that's a lot of pressure. Because I remember when, I can't speak for him, but I remember when, you know, during the draft process, we were sitting there and in Aiken, and I could tell, you know, even though he wasn't showing it, I could tell he was waiting for his name to be called, because all us is there. All us is there. And I know that was a lot of pressure on him. So, you know.
Imagine that. Only can imagine.
Yeah, like I said, man, just like Jermaine said, man, family is everything. I full wholeheartedly know that I wouldn't be here, you know, with everything that my family, without everything that my family did for me. I really feel like that God did choose me, man, you know, with the circumstances and the struggles that he put me through. I know they made me stronger. Just how I was growing up, man, everything just pieced together, you know, for me to be great, man. Like that's the way I looked at it. You know, when I was younger, one of my main motivations, you asked me what motivated me is my brother. When my brother passed, we used to always play football together, man. And before he passed, I told him, I was like, I'm gonna make it to the NFL, you know. And in my sophomore year in high school, you know, when I started back playing, you know, I gave everything to that. Like, man, I'm gonna, you know, be 100% on my promise. But all my family, they helped me along the way, man. My mom, my dad, you know, I've seen my mom struggle so much just to help me get anything, man. Like she do anything to, you know, help me. So I do the same for her. And then my dad growing up, you know, he taught me how to work, growing up doing construction, doing sheetrock, all that stuff, cement, like all the stuff that a lot of kids don't do now, man. But I was grateful for it because it taught me how to work. You know, when I was first going through it, I was like, man, why I gotta work hard? Why I gotta do this? Everybody getting this stuff for free. But now you look at it in the long haul, man, all those people that got everything for free, now they struggling. And it's like, man, I thank God for the struggles.
Right.
I respect that, man. So in that, man, how was that a full circle moment for you? You got drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. You know,
that moment was surreal, man. And me and Jermaine, Uncle Ronnie, we talked about it. It's like, man, it's like God chose me to go to the Eagles. Like, it's so crazy because I had an uncle, and my uncle passed like literally right before the draft. And, you know, it was always his dream to kind of see me go to the draft too. But his favorite team was the Eagles. And I'm like, man, it's crazy how this work out. Like, I go to my uncle's favorite team. Like, so it was amazing, man. And just since I was a little kid, you know, you've been working for something, you can't always see the end. But when you finally get there, just that first moment, man, you just got to just soak it up. Like, man, I did it, you know. And even though it's always an uphill battle, you know, sometimes you just got to sit in the moment and stay in the moment, you know. So that's what I try to do.
Respect that. Man, that's amazing. Definitely amazing. So in that, I would say, you know, something that I always think about when it comes to nonprofits. You know, tell me a little bit about your nonprofit, man. You know, Real Dreamerz, man. That's a real good name all the time. You know? But also just in reading what you guys do, you know, that's amazing. I feel like this should be all around the world.
Yeah. What inspired that was God. You know, 100%. He was the inspiration behind that, because in our area, you know, it was a lot of people that was making promises of things that they said they were going to do. And I'm a results type of person. You know, if I give you my word, our uncle, the one that Tarron mentioned earlier, Uncle Ronnie, he's a man's man. Like, he's a man's man. And, you know, not only he's my uncle, he's my pastor, he's my spiritual father. So, you know, I remember he always taught me this, and everything he teaches me stick with me, but he always said, there's nothing in life more important than your word. Nothing. Always be about your word. If you go say something, do it. And if you can't do it, at least come to that person and let that person know that you can't, or, you know. So I was taking my son to daycare one day, and I was just asking God on the way there, like, God, what do you want me to do? What do you need me to do? How can I help? How can I support my community? So he told me to go to a park. And in 2004, I came home from college and I used to hoop at this park like every day. So I was sitting out there at the park. I'm just waiting to hear from him again, like, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? So he told me to go to a local ballpark in this area. I'm actually like right outside of it right now. And so I'm sitting there waiting to hear from him. And so someone just told me to go live on Facebook. So I went live on Facebook. And this park, like trees are growing all over the fence. I mean, the merry-go-rounds, all the stuff is dilapidated out there. It's in really bad condition. So I went live on Facebook, and the first words I said, how we let this happen? Because it's a great park. It's like 6 acres. And all the memories from when I was younger, when they used to play, it's just this team called the New Ellerton Rams. And when they used to play, all the people used to gather around the park. I mean, we had a good time, and it gave people around here something to do. It gave them a purpose in the community, something to look forward to. So I made the video, and before I knew it, it was like 500 people on my live video. And then I had a cousin, one of my cousins named Brandon Key. He used to be a great hooper too. He was like, hey man, he said, over 1,500 people have looked at that video you made earlier. I'm like, really? He said, yeah. So all of a sudden, my inbox started going off. And people know I'm a person that's of my word. So they was like, look, man, if you say you want to do this, I'll support. So I started working on the ballpark, came up with the name Real Dreamers. And it's like to make dreams real. Dreams can become reality, because where me and Tarron, where we grew up at, it's in South Carolina. It's one of the hardest states to make it out of anything. Like, to be anything to make it out of South Carolina is hard, because we don't have no big executive buildings here. We don't have like any acting studios around here. We don't have, anything that gives you those type of trades in the entertainment business or whatnot. But every kid is not going to be an NBA player. Every kid is not going to be an NFL player. Every kid is not going to be a singer, actor, actresses. So you got to give them other avenues to give them something to do. So entrepreneurship, anybody can be an entrepreneur, but you just got to give them the vision. And there's a word in scripture say, well, there's no vision, the people perish. So sometimes God, he'll make you a light so you can shine in a dark place. And I don't feel like I'm any better than anybody, but I feel like that's what he did with me. So again, I came up with the names Real Dreamers to make dreams reality. And once I started going, I started just getting support from here, from there, and from here, and from there. I started this Kids Entrepreneur Summit and Adult Financial Literacy Program. And I wanted to go ahead, because you have to get kids when they're young. You have to get them when they're young. To be honest with you, this might sound bad to say, if you don't grab these kids by the time they're 12 or 13 years old and start instilling that work ethic in them, that entrepreneur spirit in them, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because there's a lot of temptation out there. So I'm doing the Kids Entrepreneur Summit, and I want them to kind of get the mindset of being an entrepreneur, ownership. And we also doing an adult financial literacy program, because there's a lot of things you can do with your money. If you have a 401k, you have retirement and benefits and things like that. It's just, we don't have the information. So I started Kids Entrepreneur Summit, adult financial literacy program. And I also started the Real Dreamers flea market here in New Ellerton as well. That's giving small businesses an opportunity to make money, because everybody can't afford brick and mortar locations. So in this town, this area, forgive me if I'm long with it, but this town, this area, it has this negative stigma on it. But right now, it's not a lot of bad things going on. So I'm like, okay, now is the time to strike, because while I know there's not a lot of crime, not a lot of stuff going on, now it's time to change the narrative. So if I can get people to come back to the city of New Ellerton and doing the flea market and bringing like a social gathering, and also giving people an opportunity to make some money, this would be one of the premier places in this town in this place of Aiken County. So that's how I came up with the Real Dreamers name.
I respect that, man. I respect that story. And it wasn't long-winded. It was needed. So just to hear that, man, I definitely would be open to helping you, man. That's what they do, bro. Even me being from a small town, Fort Valley, Georgia, a lot of people don't hear about it. But like, you hear about it because of the athletes that come out of it. That's it. But like, else, you don't really hear about it. So when anybody talk about a small town, I definitely know the struggles that come, man. I can only imagine what you're doing. I mean, that's gonna make change, and you change the narrative, and also stepping in and saying, hey, first off, teaching somebody about finances, and something they can do outside of sports. Because a lot of times that we grow up, we see somebody like run and say, okay, we can beat it. And you like, yeah, you can, but you know, things that can come with that is gonna stop you from doing that. You know, so being an
gotta have that backup plan.
Yeah. Right.
Definitely say. So how you feel about that? Like when it comes to someone like a kid that want to be in your shoes, what would you tell them?
Like I said before, I would tell all the kids, man, like one, I tell them, you know, all your dreams are within reach, but I tell them the only thing standing between it is hard work, man. Like if you work hard at anything, you're going to get better at it. You're going to get results at it. You know, being detailed and working hard is the pudding, you know, that's what got me to where I'm at. But, you know, I tell all of them have a backup plan. For me, my backup plan was, you know, get my degree. So if everything fall out of place, you know, if I get an injury, you know, if this wasn't the route for me, then, you know, I had a degree to fall back on. So I went to Coastal, you know, got my applied mathematics degree. So I had a lot of different areas that I can go to without football. And another thing, like Jermaine said, and I was really big, I was like, man, Jermaine, you really teaching these kids finances young, man. Like, I don't know why schools don't teach these kids that. Like, finances are huge. Like, why we don't know how to invest our money right? Why we don't know how to do taxes? Taxes, like, man, when I first had to file my tax this year, I'm like, man, like they ain't never teach me about taxes in school. I went to college. Nobody said nothing about taxes. They tell you, I had some finance class, they tell you like we work some equations and stuff about how much tax that you might get taken out, but in terms of what's deductible, what's this, what's that, you know, they don't talk about that, man. And, you know, Jermaine giving these kids something big so that they'll be able to build off of when they get older. But like I said, man, just working hard and being detailed and not listen to all the outside opinions. There's going to be plenty of people that's going to be like, hey, man, why you doing that? Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to get you to go the path that they going. But, you know, you just got to be locked in on what you're trying to do and just keep doing it. Just have a mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely commend both of y'all, man, for also just Jermaine, for like just, you know, taking that step to say, hey, I'm gonna teach about finance, because like he said, I'm a grown man, bro, and I don't know, like to this time I bought a house, bought nice cars, work for a nice company, right? Cool, so I'm making money. Or they, as young people say, we making that bag. And then like after a while, you like, they taking a lot of money from me. Like,
a lot of money.
You know, I'm black. So first off, I'm gonna say, is it because I'm black? Then I'm gonna be like, well, let me research. I start researching. I'm like asking old heads. They're like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of that money you see, I ain't never seen that in my lifetime, so I don't even know what to tell you. But this is what you can do. And, you know, always, this is what you can do. But if I learned that when I was 13, you don't know where I would be now.
Exactly.
Right. And it's a plan, man. It's like they want to play on your ignorance. You know, so that's why they'll never teach finances in middle school and high school and whatnot. They want to play on your ignorance. It's like, it's this guy on my follow on Instagram. His name is Wall Street Trapper. And he made a perfect analogy of that. And what he said was, why would the lion teach the gazelle how to hide from it? If I teach you how to hide from me, then I can't eat. And they are the lions. They just wear suits with ties. You know what I'm saying? So why would they teach you about finances when they getting billions and trillions of dollars off your ignorance? So it's up for those people who feel the responsibility. And if God put it in your heart to start teaching people about finances, then it's your responsibility doing it, because you don't have that pull on you for no reason. That pull is because it's something for you to do. And so, you know, for the things that I don't know, I always call people up, like financial advisors that I may know, or financial advisors that I know that has the same goal and intentions to educate people. And every time I've called one, man, they've came through. So we have the Kids Entrepreneur Summit. We let that go for like 3 hours. The kids sell all their stuff, and then at the end of it, I ask them, I say, you want to save, invest, or spend? You know, if you save your money, you lose it because of inflation. We're getting a lot of that right now. You spend your money after you done worked and made it, then you don't respect it. But then if you take your money and invest it, you're saying to your money, I work for you. Now you go out there and work for me. And once you create that system, you know, the money, it'll keep coming. It has to keep circulating. You won't run out of it. So that's what we're doing. And then after that, we have the Adult Financial Literacy Program, and people are free to ask any question they can to the financial advisors that we may have. And sometimes I see somebody in there, they'll be scared to ask a question because they feel like they're going to look dumb. But I always tell them there's no such thing as a stupid question, because you know what? Half of the people in this room, They got the same question as you. They just don't have the courage you do to ask. So ask the question.
Right.
Yeah.
And those questions you need to be asking. When you're dealing with your money, you need to be asking that, man.
For sure. It's all the questions.
Yeah, for sure.
So in that, for both of y'all, man, well, for you first, Tarron, man, when the cleats are hung up and football over, man, with you having a math degree, you're going to be fine. But like, even with you just doing these things and having a cousin like Jermaine, man, what do you want your legacy to be left?
When I'm my legacy for my life or my football legacy?
Both. It can be either or both.
For me, man, when I get done with football, I want my legacy to be that, you know, whenever he stepped on that field, he was relentless. He was going to the ball every play. He was, you know what I'm saying, being physical. But at the end of the day, you know, he gave 100% of the time. And then I think that I want that same narrative for my life, man. You know, whatever I do, like I really want to, for one, keep growing in outside an area that because when I get done, what I'm gonna do business-wise is I'm gonna flip houses because I grew up doing construction, so that's what I'm gonna do. But in my community, man, I want people to be able to do what I did. So, you know, I'm gonna give back like now, and me and Jermaine, we just gonna keep building this empire that we got now. So when we done, we like, man, Tarron really helped the community get better at financial literacy. You know, Tarron and Jermaine helped the community, you know what I'm saying, build up something else. So I'm just trying to, you know, do the best that I can to help all the kids all the kids from our area have that step, so they don't gotta go through the stuff that me and Jermaine went through. They can take that step over us and just keep building. You know what I'm saying? So, right. I just want me and Jermaine to be a stepping stone. How about that? That's basic. Yeah.
What about you, Jermaine? What's your ultimate legacy, man? Like legacy.
Same thing, man. I want to be known as somebody that I'm kind of get deep here. Mm-hmm. When I was young, I struggled with insecurity. A lot of people didn't know that because I hid it very well, but I did. And to be honest with you, that's why I felt like I didn't make it, you know, in basketball in the first place. I struggled when I was younger. Now, as I went to college, I got over it. I started getting over it. But I think if you instill confidence in a youth while they're young, they'll get over that while they're young. And they're not afraid to make mistakes. See, I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. And I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but I think a lot of athletes when they're young, or people in life in general, not just athletes, I think people are afraid to make mistakes. But the mistakes are a teaching tool. And mistakes, when you make those mistakes, now it's like it's nothing else to fear. I've turned the ball over. I've lost $5,000-$10,000. I've been through that. So what else can you do to me? You know what I'm saying? I've lost all this, so I don't fear failure anymore. And so I struggled with that when I was young. And that's why I'm open with it, because I think if kids get over insecurities and while they're young, I think they can be who they were really called to be. I heard this saying says the wealthiest place in the world is a graveyard and a cemetery, because there's so many people that passed away that had creative ideas and greatness inside of them, but they were never able to get it out because that wall of insecurity and struggle and lack of confidence that they had. So I want to be known as somebody that overcame the obstacles that he had on himself, that overcame the stereotypes of his community, that was fearless, that loved people, loved God, loved people, loved his family, and gave all he could, and was an addition to the world, not a subtraction, but an addition that added to this thing, this journey we on called life. That's what I want to be. That's what I want to be remembered as, somebody that added to humanity and not take away from it.
I love that, man. Definitely love that, man. That's amazing. That's amazing, bro, to know that. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like a lot of people, we do have insecurities. And you just like, man, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, hold on real quick. But yeah, I think like a lot of people, we have insecurities. We're trying to see what's going on in the world, like trying to be like this person and the next person. When in actuality, God put you here to be you.
Right.
And to make change and help somebody else. Once you find out who you are, you definitely going to be more open to helping other people. That's how I was able to start this show, man. Make that step out and say, you know, yeah, I was an athlete that could have went to college. I didn't do it, but I still went to college, completed it. But I'm working for a company and I'm not seeing what the results that I need to see in the world. And it's like, hey, let me take some time and like speak to people and see how I can network and get to know people to make change, true change in the Black community. My family hits that too. And I feel like that's what God wanted me to do, man. Definitely.
Right. You good at this, man. You good at this. I'm watching you. You good at this.
Thank you. And I tried, man. I'm trying, man. So in that, before we close, do y'all have any questions for me?
Yeah, you kind of answered. I was going to ask you, like, what exactly made you start this podcast?
So, be honest with you, man, I was in college and struggling. I'm a computer engineer, so struggling, going through stuff and whatever. And I grew up in a single parent home, and my mom always told me, like, hey, you know, keep the main thing, you know, God will guide you. And I'm like, for a long time, you don't know what that, you like, what the, how I'm going to figure that out. I don't play football no more. I can't do this. This not going to go this way. And I never forget, man, one of my professors told me, he's like, you're a great teacher, man. You know how to network. You bring everybody together. And I seen the friends that I brought together throughout my time at Clark. And just in general, over time, I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to do something bigger than working for a company. You know, I'm going to see how I can network, bring on different people, man. I love football. See, I can bring athletes on, engineers, doctors, that Black, to show you the different faces that you could be and how easy it is to network and talk to these people, man. And just having a show that you can come to and flip it on like, oh, okay, that's a financial guy. Okay, dang, that's what I want to learn. That's what I want to do versus trying to figure it out once you become an adult, you know? So that's my reason why to do it, man. Changing the narrative, man. I feel like I'm doing that. Y'all doing that, man. It's been an amazing show, man. Y'all one of my best episodes out of 100-some episodes. I'm being honest.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate
yes,
it.
sir. Appreciate it.
Y'all ever need anything, man, let me know. I have merchandise I'd love to send y'all, man, stuff like that. And anything y'all need, just let me know.
Yeah, man. I'll send your address in my email, man.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, man, I got to see, you know, I'm a big football fan, man. So I got to see if I can go and get an autographed jersey from you so I can take one of these down.
All right.
Get
at me after the season, man.
Man. Y'all have a great day, man. Keep having a great weekend. And I look forward to talking to y'all soon.
All right.
Same to you, man.
Sir, appreciate you.
All right.